Hi, broadcasting not live from Chapala, Mexico. I'm Bill the Geek. This is the Bill Dallas Lewis channel. The Bill Dallas Lewis channel makes videos about the benefits of living in Mexico. Come join us in the fun so you can see all kinds of stuff about Mexico and have a good time. Today's video is a bit different. We're going to talk about one thing I really don't like about Mexico, and it's something that I don't think you would ever think of until you experience. Is it narcos? No. Is it murders? No. Is it the kidnapping? No. Before we move ahead, let's have a moment of silence, because this is what my problem is all about. Listen. Did you hear that? Birds chirping, a couple of dogs barked, but it was pretty quiet. The problem is, when we came here to look at this house, it was quiet, just like that. And when you rent a place or you go to buy a place, right now it's 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's nice and quiet. But all of that can change in a second, and that's the problem with Mexico. Now you can see our house right over here, and there are two brand new houses right over here. When we bought this house, these two houses were not there. This was just flat ground and grass. So for 6 months, everything was nice and quiet every day. It was super enjoyable. We could leave our back door open with the screens, our windows could be open, and all we heard was parrots, birds chirping, and silence. But then the contractors showed up. So imagine this white wall's not here, the house is not there, and what the contractors, the workers did, the first thing in the morning, they would come in. They had this big 3-foot speaker. They would plug it into the electrical source at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then they would crank up their music at 8 o'clock in the morning, very loud, and they would play their music until 6 o'clock at night, Monday through Saturday. I asked them very nicely, can you turn the music down? I'm working. Like, I'm making videos over here. I teach classes online. I'm teaching classes online. My students are asking me, are you teaching in a bar? And the guys just looked at me like I was crazy. They wouldn't turn their music down. So they have a local boss, and I asked him, Jonathan, can you have your guys turn their music down? And he said, no. This is Mexico. This is our culture. We have to, when we're working, we need really loud music. And I don't know what the deal is. It's like there's all this peace and quiet and beauty here. And these guys, they don't live here. They don't own property. It's like, why can't you just appreciate the peace and quiet and work in peace and quiet? But they would not turn their music down. There are 2 houses here now, and it takes about 8 months to build a house. Now the owner, the main contracting dude, he has an office about 4 blocks from here. He's a great guy. He helped us buy the house. He's totally bilingual. When I was talking to him, I thought he was from Chicago. He's a Mexican. He's just totally bilingual. I like the guy. And I said, can't you tell your contractors and your manager no music? And he just looked at me and he said, I can't tell them that. So it takes about 8 months to 9 months to build a house. First, they built this house. That's 8-9 months of music every day, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Saturday. So that's one house, and they built the house next door. Down the street, they're building 2 houses. I'm going to show you some more houses that they're building. And you're saying, well, why are you telling me about this? Because music and loud music is a very big problem in Mexico. We're going to walk around the block. It's only going to take about a minute or 2 minutes, and I'm going to show you all the new properties that they have built just in the last 2 years, and I'm going to show you some empty lots. Everything that you're seeing now, the house on the far, White House, was finished 2 months ago. We had to argue with that guy every day. The new construction house, I don't even talk to those guys anymore. All of the houses you see are brand new, and all the contractors play their music really loud. It's like being in Las Vegas. And you can see the house under construction. You can see the lots to the left. There are about 4 lots to the left here, two or 3 lots across the street. That's about, a good 8 years of construction with very loud music. This house, they finished it about 2 years ago. The contractor was great. I said, hey, can you not play music? He said, fine. It took them a year to finish that house, and we had no music. So some contractors will work with you. Now you and then we have these 2 empty lots next to the house, and they're going to build those. That's another 2 years of loud music by the same noisy guys. And you may be saying, well, what does this have to do with me? Well, it's not just contractors. All you need is one neighbor, one bar. And when you walk into a situation, a buying situation, a rental situation, you don't know until you're there unless you ask people, neighbors that live there. Here's another house under construction. The house to the left of that is brand new. They just finished that about 6 months ago. So before you rent or before you buy, you want to ask people on the block, what is the noise situation? I don't think if you're renting a place, you don't want to ask the renter. You can and see what they say. But you want to go and talk to the neighbors and say, what is the noise situation here? My cousin just rented a place in Ajijic. Ajijic is a beautiful community. All the houses are really close together, and she loves her apartment. She loves her proximity so she can walk everywhere. But she has a neighbor 2 houses down that works at home. He does some kind of mechanical stuff in his garage, and he puts on his music all day long. He doesn't do it real loud, but it's all day long, 6 days a week. It's kind of annoying. Then she said somebody had a party on a Tuesday night, and they were playing super loud music until 6 o'clock in the morning. My next door neighbors in Puerto Vallarta, I lived there for 5 years. About once a month, they would have a big party, and I don't know where they got these speakers. I think they got the speakers from like Universal Studios, but they would crank, and the music was good, and they would crank it up very loud until about 7 o'clock in the morning. And I told them, hey, you guys, look, if you're gonna have a party till 7 o'clock in the morning, and I mean, you couldn't even hear your own television. And I told him, just let me know, I'll go get a hotel. It would have been worth it to pay for the hotel than to listen to this music all night. When I lived in Vallarta, I met this American guy. He was living in a hotel looking for a nice apartment. And we got to be friends. We even went out to breakfast a couple of times. And he was so happy he found a great apartment right at the end of the Malecon in Puerto Vallarta. It had a view of the ocean. The guy loved the view, he loved the apartment, but what the guy didn't know was that there was a bar right across the street. And they played very loud disco music until about 6 o'clock every morning. So I saw him a couple of weeks later, and it was driving him crazy because the bar was open 6 days a week. I've been to many fiestas at the house of Teresa's mother, at least 50. And her family, they get together, you got 30 to 100 people, eating food, dancing. Sometimes they have a DJ. The music is always really loud. Sometimes they're doing karaoke. This is always on a Saturday or a Sunday. And sometimes they go until 3 o'clock in the morning. But it's every weekend. But I never heard one neighbor come over to ask them to turn the music down. But I feel bad for her neighbors. Please leave a comment, tell us what you think. And if you like the video, click the like button. That helps our channel. And if you like our videos, we have many more to come, so click the subscribe button. When we lived in Guadalajara, we lived in a nice little suburban community, but there was a guy across the street that would rent out his courtyard and cater meals. He did that every Saturday, all afternoon until 10 o'clock. His music was always very loud, and one time I asked him, "Can you turn your music down just a bit?" And he said, "This is Mexico. This is our culture. We like loud music." And then behind the house was a New Age church. I mean, it was right behind the house in Guadalajara. And it was a New Age church, so they had a rock band for their services on Sunday. You know, so they had drums, a bass guitar, a rhythm electric guitar. They had a saxophone, a cornet, and they started practicing their music at 9 o'clock p.m. every night, and they would practice for about an hour and a half. And these people were like in the backyard. Now, in the United States, they have noise laws. I had a friend in Belmont, California with a hot tub. We were sitting out in the hot tub at nighttime. It was a very quiet community. And my friend had this music cranked up really loud. I knew it was loud. I didn't say anything. But after about 15 minutes, the police came and asked us to turn the music down. And he turned the music down. And if we didn't turn the music down, they would have given us a fine. You can do that in the United States. If people play loud music, the police will come and make them turn the music down. Not so in Mexico. Now, we live in the state of Jalisco, and now Jalisco has a new decibel law, and you cannot create noise higher than a certain decibel. And I have an app on my telephone, and it will tell me what the decibel levels are. But if somebody's playing music and it's above this decibel level, then they can go to jail for 3 days, get fined about $2,000, and there's something else that can happen to them also. But in Guadalajara, there is some enforcement, but in the Chapala area, Ajijic area, I don't think there's any enforcement. So I hope I didn't bore you, but I tell you what, this noise situation can be really screwed up, especially if you just like a quiet atmosphere, if you like to live with your windows open and the air coming through. But you can be in a situation where you're listening to music that you don't want to hear all day and all night. And if you move into that situation, it is truly a real nightmare. We go live every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time. That's Houston time, Chicago time. And people join us from all over the world to talk about their experiences with Mexico. They ask me questions about Mexico. So you want to click the subscribe button so you get a notification so that you can remind yourself to join us live Saturdays at 10 a.m. Thanks again for joining us. We appreciate it when you watch our videos. We have many more to come. I'm Bill Dallas Lewis channel, and thank you very much. We'll see you in the next video.